Today on Investigate TV Plus,
Your social security number's out there, sorry to tell you, but that's not what the bad guys really want. But your driver's license, now that's valuable to them.
your name, your birth date are just a part of the information states could be selling to businesses across the country.
I think that's something that we as victims or we as people should be able to have some control over.
And depending on where you live, we'll tell you what steps you can take, if any, to protect your personal data.
Then turning his breaking point into a breakthrough for struggling heroes.
I understand the traumas. I understand some of the dark days.
How a Navy veteran and former first responder uses his own personal battles to inspire others to seek the care they need.
And when riding a bicycle becomes a distant memory, one global nonprofit finds a solution to get older adults outside again.
It just uplifts their soul.
How sharing a scenic bike ride is creating a sense of community for those with limited mobility.
In-depth stories that inform and inspire. You're watching Investigate TV Plus. Your personal data is more valuable than ever before, and experts say it's no longer just your social security number you should be worried about. I'm T. Chappelle.
And I'm Lee Zurich. Our investigation reveals some states are making millions from selling your data to places like debt collectors, private detectives, and tow truck companies.
When you buy a car or sign up for a driver's license, your personal information isn't locked in a vault. Under a 30-year-old federal law, certain third parties are permitted to buy it from departments of motor vehicles, and restrictions vary depending on where you live.
Investigate reporter Rachel DePompa digs deep into what's being sold and whether there's a way you can realistically opt out.
I do balloons and event decor. It is a huge passion of mine. It's my way of bringing joy to people and like celebrations. I didn't always have that joy, right? And so I feel like it was like my outlet to bring it to others.
Sitting in front of a wispy wall of pink, in a room filled with the untapped promise of even more color, Nikki knows more than most. There's always a story bursting behind every half smile.
So, my journey is rough. I had an extremely traumatic childhood.
In adulthood, she says she's dealt with more trauma, including, she says, suspicions she's been stalked and had her devices hacked. She's reported her issues to police and believes she's sometimes been the target of a hired private investigator.
If you have resources, if you have the money to buy or hire an investigator or to buy my data, I feel like, you know, there's like a price tag on my safety, and that is devastating.
Depending on where you live, we've discovered private investigators, government agencies, car insurance companies, police, towing companies, auto dealers, and data brokers could have access to your personal information through the Department of Motor Vehicles. Your name, address, phone number, driver identification, all information you must give your state to get a driver's license or register a vehicle has been sold for millions all across this country over the last 5 years.
It's actually allowed because of a law with privacy in the name, the Driver's Privacy Protection Act, or DPPA.
This law's been around for a long time now.
James Lee is the president of the Identity Theft Resource Center, a national nonprofit that helps people protect their data. He says the law doesn't keep your data from being available, it just keeps it from being publicly available.
There are reasons that you can get the information, and there are organizations that have access to the information, and in every case, states sell that information.
While the act was intended to limit access to this data, it contains 14 exemptions, including allowing sales, ironically, to private investigators, employers for background screenings, and companies for debt collection or insurance.
Your social security number's out there, sorry to tell you, but that's not what the bad guys really want. But your driver's license, now that's valuable to them.
We contacted the DMVs from all 50 states to find out how much money they make from these records. We also asked if you could opt out, who can buy this information, and what each state does with the money.
In fiscal year 2024, these 23 states collected a total of at least $282 million. Of the states that gave us records, Georgia took in the most money, more than $53 million last year, followed by California's $49 million. Indiana collected $25 million. Ohio, $20 million. Some states wouldn't tell us how much money changes hands without charging us money. Michigan said it would cost more than $81,000 to find out how much money it collects from dealing data. New York tried to charge us nearly $2,000. And Virginia told us it doesn't have any records of how much money it collects, and figuring that out would cost us up to $1,000. Many of the DMVs contend they don't sell information. They say they're allowed under the DPPA to charge a fee to cover the cost of maintaining the records. But those fees vary greatly from state to state. Rich Robertson is one of the people who gets access to those driving records.
I, as a private investigator, have access to this information. I am subject to audit. The motor vehicles office can come in at any time and ask me why I ran that particular search.
He's been a private investigator in Arizona for 25 years now. He says the federal law is working and that Arizona also has its own strict privacy rules. He uses DMV databases to get names, addresses, dates of birth, and driving records so he can help in prosecutions, work with victims, and protect children.
Just recently, I got a guy exonerated from a criminal charge because I was able to access motor vehicle records out of Illinois.
Robertson says people don't want their personal information out there, but at the same time, they're demanding more safety.
They want their child care center, they want their Little League coach. They want all these people backgrounded to make sure that their children are safe. Backgrounding means digging into your private information.
For people like Nikki from Texas, the idea any personal information can be sold is more than unsettling.
I think that's something that we as victims or we as people should be able to have some control over.
So can you opt out from having your information shared? Only 3 states, Delaware, Wisconsin, and Wyoming, specifically told us they allow it, and only in certain situations. When it comes to the money collected, some states told us it goes towards road maintenance and maintaining the driving database. To learn more about record sharing in your state, head to InvestigateTV.com and search Selling Data. We have an interactive map with responses from different DMVs.
Still ahead, the fight to improve the mental health of service members and first responders.
You wonder sometimes if things are tangible, if you're making a difference, and there's a tangible difference.
How one nonprofit is on a life-saving mission to support the heroes who protect and serve.
Then later, a wedding ring lost underwater returned to its rightful owner.
I was just like in awe. I was like, there's no way.
We hear from relieved newlyweds, plus the divers who helped find it, why they say their team is inspired to not just return missing valuables, but keep a beloved beach clean. The U.S. Armed Forces, they protect and defend our country.
Missions can expose troops to life-threatening situations that can take more than a physical toll. According to a Defense Health Agency report in 2023, active duty service members experiencing a mental health disorder took up more hospital beds than any other affliction.
I think if we're going to maintain an effective fighting force, we really need to protect the well-being in general mental health of individuals that serve.
Every day, an average of 17 veterans die by suicide. But Dr. M. David Rudd, a psychologist at the University of Memphis, says the stigma of mental health makes service members and veterans hesitant to pursue care.
Stigma is a huge barrier to care. It's what prevents people from reaching out.
First responders such as firefighters, paramedics, and police also face a high risk of mental health challenges. And to help break the stigma, a veteran outside of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, is sharing his struggle with depression.
Reporter Lauren Korn shows us how his commitment to healing is inspiring others to seek the support they need.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Day One, Week One podcast.
The man behind the mic is on a mission.
And today our special guest is going
to be an interrupter.
I understand the traumas. I understand some of the dark days.
His name is Billy Bowering, a Navy vet and former first responder who's now throwing lifelines to struggling first responders and veterans.
I wanted to do something different. I didn't want to just talk about, hey, let's have awareness.
He launched Day One, Week One in June of 2023, a nonprofit that provides mental health resources, financial services, and couples counseling, all for free.
All right, today we got a very special guest.
Plus a podcast where first responders and veterans can share what keeps them up at night.
The concept behind it is we really want to be able to reach that person that may not look for counseling.
People like former paramedic Parker McBride.
How you doing, Parker?
Doing well, Billy. Thanks for having me.
She listened to his podcasts and decided to become the next episode.
She's here today to speak to the effects, the battles, and hopefully has an opportunity to help.
McBride shared about battling PTSD and depression. She also battled the reality of losing her eyesight after learning she could not afford cataract surgery.
And a few days later, he called back and he said, I've secured it. We're gonna help you. And so it was such a huge relief to know that, my eyesight was finally gonna at least, be restored, or at least to a level where I'd have glasses or something that I could at least see. So I'm very thankful that for Day One.
The faith-based organization also helped 7 others.
You wonder sometimes if things are tangible. If you're making a difference, and there's a tangible difference.
All right, everybody, thanks for coming and listening to the Day One, Week One podcast.
All thanks to a name-turned-mantra that stemmed from Bowering's Salty Company commander in boot camp.
So he's like, all right, boys, today's Day One, Week One. This is the first day of the rest of your life. And it kind of stuck with me. And he said, my voice will stay in your head the rest of your life. And it did.
That phrase now carries even more weight for Bowering, a reminder of his own Day One, Week One story in 2022 while packing for a weekend camping trip with his wife.
I just felt this incredible sense of loss and worthlessness and all of these things. And I had just made that decision. I can't do this anymore.
He called her to say goodbye. She then called his friend from church, a Vietnam veteran. It's a call that changed it all.
I had everything ready. And then just as I would say within probably 2 minutes, there was a knock on the door, and Steve Clippinger stood there. I realized in that moment that it was time to be one of those interrupters.
Now he's sharing stories and helping others to pay it forward, turning their pain into purpose, Day One, Week One at a time.
I think the more that we share them, I think it does help to break that stigma.
Whenever someone's struggling, we're going to try to be that source of strength and that hope for tomorrow.
Thank you guys. Appreciate everything that you're doing and going to do. This is going to be a big thing for a lot of people.
For more information about Bowering's podcast, or if you're a first responder or veteran looking for support, visit dayoneweek1.org. Veterans and their loved ones can also get 24/7 confidential help from the Veterans Crisis Line. Dial 988, then press 1. You don't have to be enrolled in VA benefits or health care to connect with their resources.
Coming up, divers dedicated to a cause.
So our instructor always encourages us to pick something up if you see something.
We explore the depths of a river to see how their mission to clean up has uncovered more than just trash.
1 in a million, that's how hard divers said it could be to find a wedding ring lost in a river.
But the slim chances didn't stop them from trying. In August of 2025, during a trip to Willow Beach near Las Vegas, newlyweds discovered one of their bands was missing.
The second time, I jumped off and then I climbed up on top of this little boulder, and then that's when I noticed the ring it fell off, and I was like, oh no.
The couple turned to Facebook for help and connected with certified master scuba diver Ken Wiggy. He spent the last several years building a community of volunteer divers who remove debris from Willow Beach's water. After 34 days lost, Ken's team found the ring on their third try.
Beata scores the ring. Woo!
I was just like in awe. I was like, there's no way. I was speechless. I just kept saying thank you.
While divers call this catch a miracle, it's not the only rare find they brought back to the surface.
Reporter Evan Leake met up with the divers to see how they're not just returning valuables, but inspiring others to keep the waterway clean.
What looks like garbage from afar.
The old Coke bottles is one that we kind of enjoy seeing.
At second glance,
this one from the 1920s from Las Vegas, Nevada.
Might be a piece of history.
We're still finding stuff from the 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s that has been down there that every time they release water from the dam, it rolls the silt on the bottom and the sand on the bottom. And that brings up more stuff that's been buried over the years.
Noel Iceman Stark is among the divers exploring the depths of Willow Beach every Saturday to bring debris back to the surface, an initiative started by Ken Wiggy 3 years ago.
So our instructor always encourages us against divers against debris. Pick something up if you see something. After I bought his boat, I just there's so much trash, and we've been pulling this much out almost every Saturday.
Bottles, cans, fishing rods, chairs, a tire. Ken and his crew are committed to keeping the water clean. Their work has even been recognized by Nevada Fish and Wildlife. But the true joy comes from when the divers can reunite someone with what they thought was gone forever.
The guy called us up, said, I lost my wallet, I'm getting ready to get on an airplane, my real ID's in there. We went out, we went down, we found it, pulled it up, handed it to him, and he was able to make his flight the next day.
So many stories of appreciation once the lost becomes found, whether it's a wallet, a phone, or a wedding ring.
Advertising as a miracle, because it really was. I mean, their hearts were so happy they were having their anniversary. Instead of buying a new wedding ring for him, they're going to go on vacation and have a story to tell. It's just incredible. And we can't do this without all of my friends.
When you're out on the water, Ken stressed the importance of securing valuables or just leaving them on shore so they don't end up overboard.
Yeah, Ken specifically talked about keeping your phone safe because in 2024 alone, he said his divers recovered 147 phones from the water. They returned 40 of them to their owners, shipping some phones when necessary.
You know, my husband accidentally lost his wedding ring. Divers wouldn't have helped. He needed dumpster divers. He accidentally threw it away.
He threw it away?
But it's amazing the way they found that ring.
Did he find his ring?
No.
You had to buy him a new ring.
Did have to buy a new one.
You needed a team like that, dumpster
Yes.
diving. All right, oh well. Up next, a bike ride meant for reminiscing.
I love asking questions. They want somebody that's going to listen to them.
See how volunteers are unlocking joy for seniors who can't pedal on their own.
The freedom, the thrill, the wind in your hair. You may have fond childhood memories of riding a bicycle through your neighborhood.
Did you have a bicycle?
I did, but I rode it a good bit. How about you?
Yeah, I had a Pink Panther bike with a basket on it and everything. And those handlebar little streamers.
A bell?
No bell.
No bell? What'd you put in the basket?
Candy.
Candy? That's
Usually,
good. All
yes.
right. Well, one nonprofit is making sure that joy doesn't stop when you reach your golden years.
Reporter Deborah Alfarone shows us how cycling can inspire a sense of community and give older adults a chance to reconnect with the outdoors.
So what's the best part of this ride? Well, I just enjoyed the whole thing because, like I say, I have never been in anything like this.
At 95, Dolores Ring has seen a lot, but she's never seen this.
And the greens, you know, it's so green. And of course this summer it's been so beautiful because of all the rain we've had.
She's taking a ride in this trishaw, basically a bicycle with a passenger seat, as volunteers pedal her and 79-year-old Diane Bachman through this Maryland trail.
Oh, the crepe myrtles are beautiful. Yeah, they have white ones, purple, pink.
It's all part of a global nonprofit called Cycling Without Age. The mission, to give everyone the feeling of wind in their hair, no matter their mobility. Today, the Trishaws picked up their passengers at Sunrise of Severna Park. It offers seniors independent living, assisted living, and memory care.
You know, I love asking questions, finding out about, you know, people's background, and that's the type of thing that they love too. They want somebody that's going to listen to them.
Tim Stevens is a volunteer for this county's chapter. It's one of 3,500 across the world. It's not just a ride, it's a chance to reminisce.
Do you like dogs? Oh yeah. I had one.
It's so special, it brings Sunrise employee Jules Marsh near tears.
When they come back, they've got a smile on their face, and it just uplifts their soul.
People see us on the trail, and it's like they've never seen anything like it.
And they'd never see it at all if it wasn't for Sandy Bishop. She was researching options for her daughter with a disability to get to work and came across Cycling Without Age's website. The rest fell into place.
The volunteers, the pilots on the back of the bike enjoy the experience, from exercise to being outdoors to interacting with the passengers to being involved in something that just feels good.
What was Christmas like at your house?
Oh my gosh, Christmas was so nice.
For many, the ride sparks memories and fuels conversation. It's a chance for true connection.
Enjoy every year that you have with it.
I'm going to. I'm enjoying today. I will, I promise.
To see if there's a chapter near you, visit InvestigateTV.com and search Cycling Without Age.
And that's it for us on Investigate TV Plus. I'm Lee Zurich.
And I'm T. Chappelle. Thanks for watching. On the next Investigate TV Plus, a growing number of Americans are turning to a second job just to make ends meet.
And then it was like, well, you have to keep this job now because everything is a lot more expensive.
We examine the real cost to workers pulling in a second paycheck to stay afloat.